So we're working on the theme of working through all of the spine in quite a lot of detail in its different sections. And what I want to look at this morning is this idea that the spine should have its own activity in all parts. In other words, we're not just stretching the spine by using pressure from our arms or legs or from some other external force, but we're actually using the spine itself in all its different sections. So Heinz Grill uses the term the spine should have its own dynamic, in German, die Eigendynamik. And this has got two words. On the one hand, the spine has its own dynamic, as I've just explained. And on the other hand, this word dynamic, it has a dynamic that runs through it, which means it has a sense of movement, it has a sense of energy, it has a sense that it's actually growing in a certain direction. So those are the two things I want to look at this morning. Every single part of the spine should have a dynamic, and that dynamic should be its own and not externally imposed. So let's start in a standing position. Let's take our awareness to the solar plexus, which is really the middle, exactly in the middle of the vertebral column. The 10th thoracic vertebra is where the thoracic, where the solar plexus is. And we could imagine setting this dynamic free from that point. Can you maybe just put your hands there to begin with? You can sometimes feel that 10th thoracic vertebra jutting out a little bit more than the others. And you can even give a little push, maybe with your hand behind, give a little push, and that can help the spine to grow up a little bit more. Take the arms up, but just lightly, and we want to set free this own dynamic of the spine from that point, as if it starts to dynamically grow upwards, to flow upwards. It has an energy that rises so that you grow higher and higher through then the chest area where the heart center is, and right up then to the base of the neck where the 5th chakra is, and flowing up through the arms right through to the fingertips, and then take the arms down again. Let's come into a forward bend. Just pause, make sure that your neck and your head are free. Let the breath flow. And now grow a little bit further outwards, again through the spine. You can push back a bit from the sacrum, lengthen a bit from the middle, and let that movement flow by lifting your hands, flow up through the upper section and grow out even further. And then release down again, swing up, keep the breath flowing. Find that central point at the base of the thorax. Flow upwards. We can picture it. The spine has its own dynamic that flows up through the upper spine and even beyond, out beyond the fingertips. Take the hands down. Let's roll down again. Keeping the breath flowing, gliding out. Be aware of the different sections again, backwards with your sacrum. Lift your chest so that from the middle, you can glide through the upper section and lift the arms and glide out even further. Relax, swinging down and then swing up. One more time, each direction, from the middle first. Lifting, flowing up through the chest region, then just up through the base of the neck, so that you lift your collarbones even, and really opening up your chest. And then one more time, bending forward, take the hands down, bend forwards, sacrum directs backwards, chest is lifted, breastbone is lifted, arms glide forwards, and then release, swing back up. One more time, lifting the chest, flowing through dynamic movement, and take the hands down. Let's come into the sun prayer. Hands together. Rising up, lifting the chest and flowing up. Take the hands down, glide forwards. Hands next to your feet, right foot back. Flow upwards into the half moon, really open the chest. Then the plank. Knees down. Open the chest again, shoulders can come down and back. And keep the shoulders down and back. Downward dog. Long back again, chest towards your knees. Right foot forward. Take the arms up. Lift the chest, flow through your upper sides as well. And then the other foot forward. Lift the chest and glide far out. And then relax, swing up. Keep breathing. Once again, lift the chest. Let's really be aware of those upper sides. We can help the thoracic spine to stretch more if we pay attention to the sides. Hands down. Hands together. Rising up. Lift the chest. Come down. Come forwards. Lift the chest again. Sacrum goes back, chest goes forwards. Hands by your feet, left foot back. Take the arms up. Drop with the hips a bit more and lift the chest. Plank. Knees down, chest down, shoulders down and back. Open the chest. Downward dog. Long back. Left foot forward. Row. And the right foot forward. Lengthen outwards. And then relax and swing up. Lift the chest. Flow up, lifting the collarbones right through the arms, fingertips light. And take the hands down. We'll do an interim pose, then we'll come back and do one more round of the sun prayer. Can you come down into the plank? Line. And then swivel onto one side, and you can lift the arm up. And now you have to really lift the rib cage. And by lifting the rib cage really high, you can propel that arm all the way over. So we're really stretching the upper part of the spine now. Come back to the plank again. Change over onto the other side. Take the arm up first, lift the rib cage, bring the hand all the way over your head, and you can really stretch. And then back to the plank. and take the knees down. Let's come into child's pose with lengthening of the back and come back up. So we'll do another round of the sun prayer, and we'll particularly pay attention to this region here, the upper part of your side, just under your armpit, if you like. So, and with that, the whole of the thoracic, that top region of your back. Hands together. Take the arms up. Attention to the upper sides and upper back, so that you open your breastbone. Take the hands down. Lift your chest a bit more. Lift the upper sides and back and slide out more. Hands by your feet, right foot back, come into the half moon. Raise the arms and now stretch a bit more with that upper region, opening your chest a little bit more. And then plank. Now I'm going to insert that variation. Roll onto one side, raise the arm and stretch all the way over. And then back to the plank, change to the other side, stretch up and far over, stretching your side. Back to the plank again, take the knees down, open the chest, bring the chest down to the floor and open into the cobra. Downward dog. Again, we can be aware of those upper sides. Give it a little bit extra stretch, stretching the upper side so your chest comes further towards your knees. And now right foot forward. Come up into the half moon. Be aware of those upper sides and give it a little bit more to really open the chest. Hands down, take the other foot forward. Take the hands out in front. Just open your arms, and as you close them, you can draw them further forwards to stretch out your upper sides a bit more. Then release down, swing up. And once again, attention to the upper sides and lift the chest a little bit more. And then close and take the hands down. One more time, hands together. Rising up. Stretching that upper region of your back and sides, opening the chest. Then take the hands down, come forwards. Let's open the arms again and close them and really glide out forward, stretching further. Hands by your feet, left foot back. Come up into the half moon. Little pause, and now we're going to give it a little bit more. Lifting that upper region, be aware of the sides and the chest and the upper back. And then come into the back, the plank. And let's come onto one side, lengthen up, and then right over your head with your arm. And return back to the plank, change onto the other side, lifting up, all the way far over, arm along your ear, palm facing the floor. And then back to the plank again. Knees down, open your chest, shoulders down and back, chest down to the floor. Slide forwards, open into the cobra. And then into downward dog. Give it a little bit more, so you stretch your sides and your upper back a bit further. Left foot forward. Down into the half moon. Rising up, lifting that chest again, flowing right the way through. Hands down, take the other foot forward. Stretch out in front, widen the arms, and now lengthening, stream out even further forwards. Then release, swing up. Just keep the breath flowing. Little lift of the chest, opening more, flowing through your upper sides. Let the movement continue through the shoulders and the arms, right the way into the open position. And then take the hands down. All right, we'll come to a next position. We'll come to the lying twist. So we want to work through all different parts of the spine. For this position, you can lie in a straight line with your legs together and take your right leg onto the floor out in front of you. I'm not sure if you can see. If I do it at that angle like this, you can see. So your legs, one leg is straight, the other leg is perpendicular to it. Your hip girdle can be in a vertical line. So we can pay attention, first of all, to the sacrum at the base of the spine. That remains stable. Then the twisting can happen from the third center, the solar plexus. So you can start to do that now, twisting around. Your right shoulder will probably be off the floor at the beginning. But as we twist, that right shoulder gradually comes closer to the floor. And we can start to think of the work that we can do through the upper region of the spine. Lengthening. And let's picture now that whole region between the two shoulders starts to widen. And gradually the shoulders move more into a horizontal line. Keep that firmness in your legs. Don't let them get sloppy. And then straighten up again. Change over to the other side. So your left leg comes over to a right angle if possible, or as high as you can get it. And both legs are really actively straightened. The hip girdle is vertical. Stability at the sacrum. Twisting now from the middle. Let the breath flow. And that left shoulder, which initially rises off the ground, can start to come down towards the ground as you picture a whole widening that takes place across the shoulder girdle. And in particular, you could picture how you have lots of tiny muscles all the way down the spine on either side and wrapping around all those spinous processes. These muscles are tightening on one side, stretching on the other. Gradually, we can twist around further and further. Then straighten up again. We'll do it once again on each side. And this time, we're going to eventually raise the arms above the head as well. Right leg onto the floor on the left side. Stretch out both legs actively. Stable sacrum. Begin twisting from your middle. Twisting around. Chest and shoulder region gradually open more. And now you can slide your arms upwards. Stretch up even more. You can look upwards in this position. Stretch out the legs actively.
So you want the spine to have this activity throughout its entire length. By pushing through the legs, you have a stable sacrum. You can lift your rib cage and lengthen right through as you twist. Take the arms back down, straighten up. Bring the left leg over onto the floor on the right, stretch out your legs.
Karen, we couldn't hear you talking.
Vertical, stable sacrum. Start twisting from your middle through the upper spine, lifting the chest a bit. Now you can begin to slide the arms up. Lifting your chest as you do so. So the spine is both lengthening and twisting. And eventually you can bring the hands together. You can clasp your thumbs and hold the fingers together. And really stretch now actively. Be aware of the different sections. Sacrum, middle region, which is twisting, the upper region, which is lengthening, and then come back. And just hug your knees into your chest. And come back up to a sitting position. So we'll come to one final pose, and this is the pigeon, which I haven't often done on these classes. So we'll start with the legs. The pigeon is a position where we work really different sections of the back in different ways. The sacrum we can work on to begin with through the leg position. So if you take one leg forward, you take your right leg forward, say, and you can either sit directly on top of your heel, or you can bring the heel more in front, so it's more underneath the other hip, like that. So to begin with, you'll probably be up a little bit off the ground. We're not going to worry too much about the upper body to begin with, but I'd like you to work at pushing down with the sacrum, and it's the feeling that that leg propels backwards. So you can get that movement of really tightening in at your sacrum. You just keep your hands on the floor to support yourself for now. Okay, let's change around. So that foot can either go directly underneath on the same side, or it can go under the opposite hip. And then once you've got the legs in position, push your pelvis forward so that your sacrum tightens. The legs can literally slide apart. There's a real activity. So again, the dynamic in the spine is one more of contraction now. And then release again. Let's just come into child's pose. Come back up. And now we're going to work on the upper body. So to do this, we can just come into a really high position like this. And we're going to flow from the solar plexus upwards. You can raise your right arm. And now the dynamic, it really grows. You can really lift as if your whole back and your arm, the movement goes from there upwards. From the middle, it flows up through your upper side. And you're really opening your chest. Take the arm down. Let's change the legs around. Finding that lift. So we start at the base of the rib cage where the solar plexus is. Raise the left arm. And now as you actively lift, there is a dynamic, a movement. It flows upwards. There's an energy rising up, carrying you upwards. And back down again. Let's come into a more dynamic version of the child's pose. If you take your knees apart, you can sit on your heels and you can lengthen so you really direct your sacrum back, your spine forwards. Come back up again. So finally, we're going to combine these two different directions of movement. We can start fairly high up again. Again, you can either start with your foot directly under your hip on the same side, or you can move it across so that it's at an angle and the heel is under your groin on the opposite side. We'll start quite far from the ground so that we can get that real lift from the third center. We shouldn't be bending forwards too much, but try and get this uprightness. We're going to move in two directions together. You can raise both arms. And now we're lifting from the middle, from the third center. You can push the legs apart as you do so, so that you gradually come down towards the floor. And at the same time, you can actively, dynamically glide upwards. Don't drop the head back. Just really flow up through the arms. We're making a long, long vertical line. Fingertips come together. And gradually your legs can come lower and lower onto the ground. Take the hands down. And then change sides. Take the left foot forward. Lifting from here, solar plexus. Raise up the arms. Lift. And slide apart with the legs. Keep growing. As you go up, you also go down. We find this active flowing dynamic through the upper back, the contraction more at the sacrum, gradually coming further and further. And then take the hands down. Just stay with your legs in this position, and you can come all the way forwards to lengthen. Let's change the legs around and do that counter pose on the other side as well. Take the right foot forward and then slide forwards. And come back up again. Let's finish off in a sitting position. So the spine's own dynamic in all its sections, that's what we've been working with. Let's just finish off with an awareness of the spine in its different sections. The sacrum, we can feel at the base, gives us stability. And the solar plexus in the middle, there is that lift. And the dynamic runs up through the upper spine. We've worked on quite a lot this morning, so that we can feel more openness naturally in our chest. With that, the neck and the head feel freer. And let's finish our session there.